My name is Andrew Gord. I am the Assistant Tribal Historic Preservation Officer at the Cultural Heritage Center for Citizen Potawatomi Nation. And this video is a time lapse of the construction of our high tunnel hoop house for the monarch butterfly habitat restoration project. This hoop house is located at the top of the hill behind the Sharp House at our community garden. This is a new space that we are putting together. This hoop house structure, it's also called a high tunnel, is basically a greenhouse. It's aluminum poles with plastic over the sides. They're good for growing cold crops here in Oklahoma starting, January and February, because we have unpredictable weather, but we do still get lots of sun. So it can prevent them from getting blown over by the high winds that we do get, and it provides a more stable temperature during the cold seasons. And the advantage to this structure that we have is we have netting on the sides on the long ends, and we have a special attachment at the top. It's basically a little A-frame that has flaps that can go up and down, so we will be able to open up the sides to allow breeze to come through, and we can open up the top to allow the heat to escape, so that we can use these things all the way into May. Because once you start getting into mid-April, beginning of May, we're getting into the 90s. That puts you in the hundreds easily inside of the structure. And you throw the humidity of water, plants, and all that in there, it can get pretty uncomfortable. So it's important to be able to roll up the sides. And a lot of the high tunnel structures, you'll see that they do roll up the sides. Ours is just this added feature of being able to open up the top to get even more breeze through. So when we started this project, we decided to put it up at the top of the hill, sort of away from the main plots of the garden, so we'd have room for everything. And we got started sort of laying out the frame, putting down the ground cover. Then we had to go through and assemble the ribs, so that way we could stretch the plastic over it. As we were assembling the piece, we discovered that some of the welds weren't quite perfect, so we had our housekeeping guys come in with their welder. They fixed up the joints, and then we were able to go back putting the ribs on. And that was sort of a little process. You got to make sure you have them level, you have them straight. You'll see me go through and walk down the line checking them here in a second. Every once in a while you might catch us stopping to look at a piece of paper. It's because we didn't actually have written instructions. We were going by pictures that were provided to us by the people who made this hoop house. Our housekeeping guys at CPN, they're really good when it comes to construction. They've done a lot of different houses and structures. They have really good construction experience, so it's really helpful to have them on hand, because I watched the one that the Chickasaws had. They hired the contractor who built this structure. They sent his crew out to Sulphur, and we watched it go up at their Cultural Heritage Center. And so I was there, I watched the whole thing happen, and then we were also provided with about 200 pictures of just the various states of construction. And so I was able to go through and pick out the most important pictures, print those off, and have them on hand, and we were able to just sort of be like, okay, these are the proper steps. So it was me being the first-hand witness, and these guys with their construction experience to know, put it all together and get it done working, together that way. So it was a lot of fun. It was a learning experience for everyone for sure. These guys, I think they have put up a similar high tunnel structure, but not one that was specifically designed this way. Like I said, it's a unique design made by somebody here in Oklahoma. So whenever we put this piece up, we actually had to keep in mind our prevailing winds. We are Oklahoma, the majority of the time we're getting our wind out of the south. So it was really important that we didn't orient the long axis to be facing the south. We wanted our narrow access where the doors are opened to be facing the south and the north. That way, the wind isn't hitting the largest surface area, and the doors, and the vents provide the ability for the wind to sort of pass through without us worrying about the structure blowing off, because it is just plastic and piping. 60-mile-an-hour wind picks up, and if you don't have this thing anchored down and put in the right direction, it's going to blow away.